Well, today on I Can Build It in a Van, this is part 4 of building our TV radio. And today we're going to do something that probably not a lot of people have done, and that is to try to simulate Bakelite on the sides. The reason is I just not really liking the whole color combination I got going on here. That there's going to be Bakelite too, but that's for a different video. Today what we're going to do is show how to, well, a lot of people call it wood graining. It's kind of a form of that, but it's not as textured as wood graining. But anyway, it's Bakelite is an old form of plastic, and it usually has several different colors involved in it. So today I'm just going to use some of this light blue that has, or teal I should say, and put it on there. And the secret here is we use a microfiber cloth. We paint it on, then we kind of wipe it off. Unlike wood grain, which usually goes the whole length of the thing, we're only doing parts and just kind of making it look like that's just, you know, the way it goes. Anyway, let's start off. I always like using the darker colors first. Therefore, it gives it more of a realistic Bakelite look. We'll use, of course, our Dollar General brush, and we'll just kind of should have mixed that up a little bit before I started, but I didn't. So here we go. Oh shit, this is not good. This is going to be a toughie. This stuff here is like, just kind of go like that on it. And this paint is not in the best of shape. Anyway, you just kind of want to texture it in there a little bit. It doesn't have to go in any particular direction, but anyway, so as you can see, it's starting to get that Bakelite look to it. And this here will dry fairly rapidly because, well, it just kind of, it doesn't look like much right now. We'll put a little bit more glue on down here. We're just going to do one section at a time because this paint is half dry. And we'll just kind of, and you don't have to go in any particular direction. That's the nice thing about this, is that it just kind of goes whatever direction you want it to go. And you don't have to necessarily cover the whole area with it. And a lot of people will just sponge things in, get rid of some of that harsh coloring we got. And yeah, it don't have to be an exact thing. As you can see, it's already starting to get a marble look to it, which is cool. And we'll set this off to the side for right now. And you know what? We're going to do the other side right now because this paint is not in very good shape. Okay, come on, spin around. And we'll just kind of clean that off a little bit dusty. And here we go again. We'll just go ahead and put a little bit more on this one here on this side. Yeah, this paint, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like already congealed. And we're going to put it, we'll probably do a little bit less. That's not doing what I want it to do. So we'll just kind of, yeah, you can see it. This paint is is not doing like I want it to do, but that's okay. We'll make it work. This is just kind of a way of taking colors and mixing different colors in with this. This stuff here is just this paint is not good. I should have looked at this before I started, but I didn't. So therefore, I'm paying the price now. Anyway, yeah. So it's kind of doing what it's supposed to be doing anyway. Just it's kind of yucky. Just kind of wipe it in and just kind of put it into the actual grains of the wood that's there, and then just kind of swirl it around a little bit. You know, it does. The thing about Bakelite is that it's not any particular random order. It's just kind of done the way it wants to do itself. So there's that. So you're just seeing the first coating of this, and now we'll let that sit for a few minutes as I explain out how I'm going to throw away this paint as soon as I'm done here. And yeah, it's not good. And this white really isn't a whole lot better, I can tell you that right now. What the deal is, when you buy enamel paint, you know, it's really pretty much a one use or a very short time use paint. You can't just be putting stuff on it and hoping that it you know, be good the next time you use it, because well, here in the van, I don't know if you know this, but it's kind of frozen, and so we're having a little problems with that. But that's okay. We're having a good time, and we're going to go ahead and let that set for right now, just a little bit. It gives it kind of a war look, as you can see, but it's still somewhat shiny because I'm using gloss stuff, and when I come over this, I'll probably I might try putting a little bit of automotive wax on it when I'm done with this. But yeah, so it's really pretty much dry. It don't take long when you're putting paint on and then just wiping it off. Just kind of let it kind of just set up a little bit. I don't want it to let it dry too much because I'd like to get it intermixed between well, not the first coat, because the first coat I want dry because I want a good platform. But wood grain, you would come over this and, you know, be browns or whatever colors you want, and you want to streak it all the way down, follow it through, and then the second coat, wood grain's usually done in 3 different colors. A dark brown, a medium brown, and a somewhat light brown, and for it to really look wood grainy. They sell the kits. I don't really use the kits because, let's be honest, you know, they just don't look right. I've used them on other things. You know, they come out okay, but you know, wood is not really symmetrical. It's kind of is grain, it's straight and forward. So if you want to put in like a oval, you know, cutouts in it for the make it look like cross-cut wood or whatever you want to do, then yeah, them kits don't really help themselves. Where microfiber cloths work perfectly for something like this, and that's what we got here. And we're gonna let that. Okay, that's pretty much ready to roll. Let's go ahead and pop the top on this. Of course, we'll get out another paintbrush. This stuff here is a little bit more better. So we're just gonna put in a couple streaks on it. Now you don't want to use as much of this because it will it'll kind of want to take away some of the paint that you already have on there. I always try to just kind of, and you just kind of want to kind of work it in a little bit. And I don't like that top. So we're looking at it. That's right there. I don't like that so much. So I'm just going to kind of go over it real lightly. And kind of give it a sideways, because we don't want a straight up and down in here. We want it to have a kind of a if you ever see real Bakelite, you kind of want it to have kind of a different, you kind of want it just a little bit kind of mixed up. It's like mixed up plastic, and it's a lot of times it's not. As you can see, we're starting to get there now. And just kind of work it in a little bit. You notice we're taking some of the other paint off, which is fine, because we don't want a solid, I think it's a little too much. And you know, this is all the eye of the beholder as far as doing Bakelite. And it's a little bit of an art. You know, you'll get to using it and getting to doing it. You'll say, oh, well, I don't like this particular part right there. Let's say I want to kind of work it in a little bit. Then you kind of want to, you don't want it to look like it's just been brushed on. And that's kind of what we're trying to get away from. You want it to look a little weathered. And as you can see, we're getting there. I'm keeping away from the edges because, well, it's something I'm going to do a little bit later. As you can see, it got a different texture, a different thing to it. And you know, you see this circle I got going on here. I'll just kind of work that out a little bit. It's just kind of fun just to play with it and see what you can come up with. And yeah, it's quite an art for it. This is a lot like sponging, other than you do want some grain going, but you want it to look like it looks kind of, I think it kind of looks a little rough on the video, but you know, when it all dries, it'll be just fine. Let's swing on this baby around. On that. Now to watch that. Another nice thing about enamel is when you make a mistake, you usually straighten it out pretty rapidly. And here we go again into this side here, which will probably be a little bit more difficult because it's been drying a little bit longer. I should have done the other side last, but I didn't. This side here is going to be a little bit more spongy. That's okay, because you know, it's whose ever interpretation of what we're doing here. And it's coming along pretty good. We'll go ahead and finish this out before I finish out the video. And we'll talk a little bit about what needs to be done to do whatever you want done. Now, if you want a matte finish, that's fine. But as you can see, this here is just kind of going along with the flow here a little bit. And we're just going to go ahead and Let me go ahead and finish this out. Anyway, I'm going to get a little bit more of the darker blue through this right here. And the nice thing is, you know, it just kind of goes along whatever you're trying to do here. And if you wanted to draw a design in it, or if you're looking at marbleizing, which is another thing too. Marbleizing is more just taking it and just going like this with your rag. I should have kind of did a little bit of that, but Bakelite is a mixture of a whole bunch of different colors of plastic. Probably they just used whatever they had extra sitting around and just threw in a vat and threw it in here. So this is kind of the way all Bakelite kind of looks, and it'll of course it doesn't look right now because it ain't dried, of course, but once it dries, and then I come over it with a little, I might come over it with a little light sandpaper or a triple aught SOS pad, as we'll call it, or steel wool, and put a little wax on it to give it the gloss. We'll see what the gloss is like when this is done. A lot of times you don't have to do any of that. A lot of times the gloss just simply comes back because we're using gloss paints on this. So there's really no issue as far as gloss, but it just becomes a personal preference. And you know, of course, if you want to flatten it out a little bit to make it look more flatter and stuff, that's fine too. And with enamel, of course, as you know, you can paint a spray can of clear Krylon paint and just simply spray paint it clear if that's what you want to do. I've never tried polyurethane on this to see if it causes an issue. I tend not to use that kind of stuff. Because I'm worried about brush strokes. I'm worried about hairs from the brush. I'm worried about other things like that. It's going to cause a problem. So right now we're just right here looking at this thing, and we'll have a television in it. This thing wanting to fall over. Got my little thing there, and I still got a little bit of paint on right there, which we'll get off right now from my fingers. As we all know, we love to get our fingers all over everything, and so that's where it's at right now. We'll have the next video will actually be going in and completing the assembly. What's going to happen up here, how the television is going to look inside here. We got some tricks that we're doing to kind of give it that old time look. This here, I haven't really decided if I want to, you know, it's obvious an open space, so I'm going to probably put in just display shelves in there because, well, I hate to waste any kind of space. I was going to put one of my guitar amps inside of it, but as you know, that gets to be kind of a bigger job, and yeah, so it's coming right along. It doesn't look too bad, and as time goes on with it, we might change a few designs. You're asking me, what is this here for? This hole I had to put in there. Well, that is for the remote control for the television. I didn't want to bring this hole down into this area here because there's braces in behind here, and plus I wanted to keep it just where you could only see the screen on the thing. So I'll be putting something over that to kind of give it a antique look, maybe some kind of emblem of some sort, because I got plenty of old RCA and Zenith badging I could put on this, and so that's where we're at right now. We'll go ahead and finish this, putting this thing together here when this dries here, and we'll come back with the next video. Okay, thanks a lot.